Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
Have you ever felt stuck, like no matter what you do, life just isn't moving forward? What if the real problem isn't your environment, but you? Today, I'm going to share a story that could flip your entire mindset and change your life. Let me take you back to a powerful moment that has stayed with me for years. A young man once came to me, burdened with frustration and disappointment. He felt like his life was going nowhere. Opportunities seemed to pass him by, and he was convinced the solution was external. He said, "Mr. Rand, I need a new environment. I need better circumstances." I listened carefully, and then I told him something that would shift the course of his journey. I said, "No, you don't need to change your environment. What you need is to change yourself, and once you do that, your environment will follow." That simple but profound truth is what I want to share with you today. Focus on you until you win. Now, you might be wondering, isn't it selfish to focus on myself? Absolutely not. It's not selfish, it's essential. Think about what they say on airplanes. Put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. Why? Because you can't help anyone if you're suffocating. You can't give what you don't have. You can't lead where you haven't been. And you certainly can't share wisdom you haven't earned. So what does it truly mean to focus on you until you win? It starts with taking complete, unapologetic responsibility for your life. Most people look outward when life stalls. They blame the economy, their boss, their partner, their past, their upbringing, anything but themselves. But those who succeed take ownership. They say, "If it's to be, it's up to me." I learned long ago that you don't cross an ocean by simply staring at the waves. At some point, you've got to climb into the boat, grab the oars, and start rowing. Wishing won't move you forward. Complaining won't either. Only action, disciplined, consistent action, creates progress. Here's the truth that most people avoid. Excuses are the nails that build the house of failure. Every time you offer an excuse, you drive another nail. And before you know it, you've built a prison with yourself on the inside. So I challenge you to do this. For the next 30 days, refuse to make excuses. Life will still throw curveballs. Things will still go wrong. But when they do, don't say, "That's just my luck," or "That's how life is." Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? How can I turn this setback into a step forward? This mindset shift is the second step in truly focusing on you until you win. The next powerful step in focusing on yourself until you win is developing a personal philosophy. Why? Because your philosophy shapes your mindset. Your mindset shapes your attitude. Your attitude influences your actions. And your actions ultimately determine your results, which in turn shape your entire lifestyle. Yet so many people try to change their outcomes without first changing their core beliefs. They want a different life, but refuse to examine the thinking that created their current one. But life doesn't work that way. Real transformation starts from within. You've got to go to the root. So ask yourself, what do I truly believe about myself? What do I believe about success? About failure? About hard work? About relationships? Because your answers to these questions, whether spoken or silent, are guiding your life every single day. Let me tell you what I've come to believe. I believe that with the right philosophy, any person, regardless of background or limitations, can build an extraordinary life. I believe that success leaves clues. And if you're willing to study those clues and follow them with discipline, you can create success for yourself too. I also believe this. The same winds blow on all of us. The winds of opportunity, of adversity, of sudden change, they come to everyone. The difference isn't in the wind. It's in how you set your sail. Will you let the wind push you wherever it wants? Or will you direct your own course? Here's a powerful example of how philosophy affects real-life outcomes. Imagine two people both lose their jobs on the same day. The first person collapses under the weight of disappointment, saying, "This is terrible. Everything is ruined." The second person sees it differently, saying, "This might be the best thing that ever happened to me. Now I've got a chance to find something better." Same exact situation, but two completely different responses because of two different personal philosophies. And naturally, two very different results will follow. Now, the third crucial step in focusing on you until you win is cultivating discipline. Discipline is the link between your thoughts and your achievements. It's the invisible thread that ties your dreams to reality. It's the daily grind, the unseen effort, the consistency that no one claps for, but that makes everything else possible. Most people want to skip this part. They crave success, but not the sacrifice. They long for reward, but resist the responsibility. They want to stand on the podium, but aren't willing to do the early mornings, the late nights, the daily reps. But the truth is this: without discipline, dreams remain just that, dreams. Too many people want the rewards without the grind, the success without the struggle, the glory without the effort. But that's simply not how life operates. The law of sowing and reaping is always at work. You harvest only what you've planted and nurtured. There are no shortcuts. I often remind people that life presents you with two inevitable kinds of pain: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline is light. It weighs just ounces. But the pain of regret? It's heavy. It weighs tons. And every day, whether you realize it or not, you're making a choice about which one you'll carry. Discipline means doing what you know needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's rising early to study when your bed is warm and your body says no. It's choosing to save money when the temptation to spend is calling your name. It's sitting down for a hard conversation when silence would be easier. It's doing the right thing, not because someone's watching, but because it aligns with who you're becoming. What's fascinating is how discipline works over time. At first, it feels like a burden. It's uncomfortable, inconvenient, even painful. But the more you practice it, the lighter it feels. Discipline builds strength. On the other hand, a lack of discipline is deceptively comfortable in the beginning. It feels good until it doesn't. Eventually, it leads to heavier consequences: missed chances, broken trust, lost potential. The pain of discipline is short-term, but its rewards are long-lasting. You may sweat now, but you'll thank yourself later. And that brings us to the fourth pillar of focusing on you until you win: continuous learning. If there's one investment that guarantees a return, it's what you feed your mind. Your mind is your greatest asset, and what you pour into it will shape the quality of your thoughts, decisions, and ultimately, your future. I've always been a student at heart. I've always craved knowledge, not just to know more, but to become more. Growth doesn't happen by accident. You have to seek it, work at it, and protect it. One of the most effective tools I've ever used? Reading. But not just reading to be entertained. Reading to be educated, challenged, and changed. Jim Rohn had this beautiful approach to reading. Treat it like a daily discipline. Read something of value every single day. Read material that sparks ideas, offers insight, and fuels inspiration. Read things that will last, not just trends that fade. Don't just consume content for distraction. Choose it for development. Don't read to kill time. Read to strengthen your life. Sadly, many people suffer from what I call mental malnutrition. They read so little, they've developed rickets of the mind. And then they wonder why opportunities seem to slip through their fingers, why success feels so far out of reach. But here's the simple truth: they haven't prepared. They haven't built themselves up from the inside out. And that preparation? It starts with what you choose to learn. Successful people leave behind a trail of valuable clues. If you're aiming for better health, observe and study those who live with vitality. If your goal is wealth, learn from those who've built financial freedom. And if happiness is what you're after, look closely at those who live joyfully. It's not complicated, but it is intentional. There is a method behind success. It's not luck or chance. It's a science, a repeatable set of principles that anyone can follow if they're willing to pay attention. Don't limit your learning to just books. Expand your exposure. Listen to audio programs that fuel your growth. Attend seminars that challenge your thinking. Find mentors who've walked the path you're on. Join mastermind groups that stimulate progress. Surround yourself with people who already live the life you aspire to. Why? Because proximity is power. You've probably heard it before. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So let me ask, who's in your circle? Are they pulling you up or dragging you down? Choose your associations deliberately. Choose people who stretch your thinking, challenge your limits, and believe in your potential even when you don't. Now let's move to the 5th part of focusing on you until you win: managing your emotions. Your emotions are incredibly powerful. They're not just fleeting feelings. They are forces that can shape your actions, fuel your decisions, and influence your outcomes. The key difference between people who succeed and those who stay stuck is this: unsuccessful people let their emotions lead their actions. Successful people lead their emotions. Let me illustrate that for you. Imagine 2 people both experiencing fear. One lets the fear freeze them, paralyzed by doubt, unable to act. The other feels the fear too, but instead of retreating, they step forward anyway. Same emotion, different choices. And as a result, very different outcomes. You must learn to master your emotional landscape, especially the difficult emotions, the ones that sneak in when life gets hard. Fear, doubt, frustration, disappointment. These are inevitable. You can't stop them from showing up, but you can decide not to let them unpack and stay. So how do you master your emotions? First, become aware of them. So many people move through life reacting without even realizing what they're feeling. Awareness is the first step to control. Second, remind yourself that emotions are not facts. Just because you feel like a failure doesn't mean you are one. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean danger is present. Emotions are signals, not truths. Third, create powerful emotional rituals that reset your state. Daily habits like gratitude journaling, visualizing your goals, repeating empowering affirmations, or even physical movement like walking or working out. These are tools to help shift you into a mindset that serves you, not sabotages you. The sixth key to focusing on you until you win is prioritizing your health. Let's not sugarcoat it. Your health is your true wealth. Without it, even the greatest financial success or highest achievements lose all meaning. And yet, it's astonishing how many people neglect their bodies in the pursuit of success. They push through 16-hour workdays, live off processed food, skip workouts, cut their sleep short, and wonder why they feel exhausted, anxious, or even depressed. That's not high performance. It's slow, silent self-destruction. Real success isn't just about chasing money or status. It's about building a life filled with energy, balance, peace, and purpose. It's about being well enough, physically and mentally, to enjoy the rewards of your hard work. So what does that require? Fuel your body with clean, nourishing food. Move it regularly. Walk, stretch, lift, breathe. Prioritize your sleep as if your life depends on it, because it does. And learn to manage your stress before it manages you. These aren't just health tips. They're the very foundations of sustainable success. Because when your body is strong, your mind is clearer. When your energy is high, your confidence rises. When you feel good physically, it positively influences every other area of your life. Your relationships, your business, your goals, even your spiritual growth. Now let's talk about the seventh principle, developing your character. Your character is the invisible architecture that holds up everything else. Without character, any success you build is temporary, fragile, like a mansion built on shifting sand. It may look impressive from the outside, but one strong storm, and it all comes crashing down. Character means doing the right thing not because someone's watching, but because it aligns with your values. It's telling the truth even when a lie would be easier. It's honoring your word, showing up when you said you would, and taking ownership when you've made a mistake. It's about how you treat people, not just those who can help you, but those who can't do anything for you at all. And here's something powerful to remember. Character isn't something you're born with. It's not a personality trait you inherit. It's a muscle you build, choice by choice. Each time you choose integrity over convenience, honesty over comfort, principles over pressure, you're strengthening your foundation. You're becoming someone others can rely on, someone others respect, and most importantly, someone you can be proud of when no one else is looking. The eighth element of focusing on you until you win is cultivating gratitude. Gratitude is not just a feel-good emotion. It's a powerful tool that neutralizes negativity. It's the antidote to envy, resentment, regret, frustration, and so many of the emotions that quietly eat away at our peace of mind. When you're truly grateful, it's almost impossible to be angry, bitter, or upset at the same time. Your perspective shifts, and so does your energy. Most people spend their time focusing on what's missing. They dwell on what they haven't achieved, what others have that they don't, or the problems they still face. But successful people? They choose to focus on what they already have, no matter how small. That shift in focus makes all the difference. It doesn't mean they settle. It means they see clearly what's already working, and they build on that foundation. Start and end each day with intentional gratitude. Wake up and say thank you for your health, for your family, for the roof over your head, for the challenges that are shaping you. And before bed, reflect on what went well, who showed you kindness, what progress you made, and even the tough moments, because those build your strength, your patience, and your wisdom. Be grateful for the time and history you live in, the access you have to information and opportunities, the people who've helped you, whether they supported you, challenged you, or even left you, because each one has played a part in your growth. Gratitude isn't just a nice habit. It's a mental shift that opens doors, deepens relationships, and enhances your ability to see the possibilities in front of you. Now, the ninth pillar of focusing on you until you win is developing resilience. Resilience is your internal bounce. It's what allows you to stand back up when life knocks you flat. And it will. That's not a possibility. It's a certainty. You will face setbacks. The question is, what will you do next? I've never met a single successful person who hasn't failed, often spectacularly. But the reason they rise above isn't because they're lucky. It's because they've trained their minds and hearts to treat failure as a teacher, not a final sentence. They don't let failure define who they are. They let it shape who they become. They use the pain as fuel. They turn every misstep into a stepping stone. So when life throws a curveball, don't fall into the trap of asking, why me? Instead, ask, what now? Don't say, I can't believe this happened. Say, what can I learn from this? And most importantly, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of a new chapter you're meant to write. Resilience isn't something you're simply born with. It's something you build, choice by choice, every time you refuse to quit, every time you stand back up, and every time you decide that the story isn't over. Not yet. Resilience isn't something you're simply born with. It's something you develop over time through repeated challenges and the strength you build by facing them head on. You forge resilience by stepping into the storm, not away from it. It comes from being knocked down and deciding again and again to rise, stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Every obstacle you overcome, every failure you learn from, is like a weight that strengthens your mental and emotional muscles. Now, let's move to the 10th principle of focusing on yourself until you win. Setting and achieving clear, meaningful goals. Goals are the compass that gives direction to your energy and ambition. Without them, you're like a ship adrift at sea, tossed around by the waves of life, never quite sure where you're going. But with defined goals, you become the captain of your own destiny, steering with purpose, clarity, and confidence toward a future you've intentionally chosen. But here's the catch. Not just any goals will get you there. The most effective goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Yes, the classic SMART criteria still hold true. You must write them down, revisit them regularly, and break them into bite-sized, actionable steps. Why? Because what gets written gets tracked, and what gets tracked gets done. And above all, these goals must belong to you. Not goals that someone else thinks you should have. Not goals rooted in comparison or pressure, but goals that reflect your values, ignite your passions, and align with your unique strengths. When you set a meaningful goal, you're making a powerful statement. This matters. I'm willing to commit. I'm willing to grow into the person it takes to make this real. And that's the hidden reward of achieving a goal. It's not just about reaching a destination. It's about the transformation that happens along the way. You evolve. You stretch. You become someone who can consistently turn intention into reality. And that, my friend, is real power. Now, the 11th part of focusing on yourself until you win is identifying and developing your unique abilities. Each of us has been gifted with natural talents. Things that feel intuitive, that come easily, that others struggle with but you excel at. When you focus on nurturing these strengths, you unlock a level of value and fulfillment that's truly extraordinary. Most people try to be a jack of all trades, adequate at everything but exceptional at nothing. But the people who stand out, the ones who lead, innovate, and succeed at the highest levels, they double down on their strengths. They choose to specialize. They know where they shine, and they polish those gifts relentlessly. So take time to get to know yourself. What are you naturally good at? What excites you? What do others consistently compliment you on? And just as importantly, be honest about your weaknesses, not to dwell on them, but to manage around them. You can choose to improve them to a functional level or delegate them to others who thrive where you struggle. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Remember, the marketplace doesn't pay for average. It rewards excellence. It values expertise. The world doesn't need you to be everything. It needs you to be the best version of you in your chosen lane. Find that lane, own it, and grow in it until you become the go-to person in your niche. Finally, we arrive at the 12th element of focusing on you until you win, serving others. At first glance, this might sound like a contradiction. How can focusing on others be a part of focusing on yourself? But in truth, it's one of the most powerful ways to grow. Because real fulfillment, the kind that lasts, doesn't come just from personal achievement. It comes from impact. The individuals who truly thrive, who find lasting success and deep happiness, are those who use their gifts to uplift others. They understand a powerful truth. Success without contribution feels hollow. It might impress from the outside, but inside, it lacks soul. Achievement without impact is like a beautiful meal with no flavor. It leaves you unsatisfied. You weren't created just to take from the world. You were made to give, not just to consume, but to contribute. And when you shift your focus towards serving others, towards solving problems, adding value, and creating change, you begin to unlock both external and internal rewards. Sure, you'll gain recognition, compensation, and new opportunities. But more importantly, you'll gain something far more valuable: purpose, fulfillment, and meaning. I've met wealthy individuals who had all the material success you could imagine: mansions, luxury cars, freedom of time, yet they felt empty inside. Why? Because they never learned this truth. On the flip side, I've known people with modest means, living simple lives, but overflowing with joy, because they wake up every day with a mission to serve. They find happiness not in accumulation, but in contribution. This brings us to the 13th element of focusing on yourself until you win: developing courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward even when fear is screaming in your ear. It's stepping up even when your knees are shaking. Every meaningful accomplishment in life has courage at its core. The courage to begin, the courage to keep going, the courage to face setbacks, and the courage to stand apart from the crowd. Too many people are paralyzed by fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of the unknown. And as a result, they stay stuck, never daring to chase what could be. But here's the thing: successful people feel those same fears. They just don't surrender to them. They feel the fear, acknowledge it, and take action anyway. And here's where it gets interesting. Like a muscle, courage strengthens with use. The more often you confront your fears, the stronger and braver you become. Each time you step into discomfort, your comfort zone expands. What once terrified you becomes manageable. What once seemed impossible becomes part of your new normal. Now, let's talk about the 14th part of focusing on you until you win: being authentic. In today's world, it's easy to lose yourself. Every day, you're bombarded with messages telling you how to look, how to think, how to act, pressuring you to fit into someone else's mold. But true power lies in authenticity. In a world constantly pressuring you to talk like someone else, act like them, live their lifestyle, one of the boldest and most courageous decisions you can ever make is to simply be yourself. Authenticity isn't about resisting change or avoiding personal growth. It's about building your best self from the inside out, not by copying others, but by uncovering who you truly are and nurturing that. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be real. Authenticity is about using your natural strengths rather than exhausting yourself trying to perform in areas that don't align with who you are. When you embrace your true nature, you stop wasting energy pretending. You're no longer drained trying to meet everyone else's expectations. Instead, you focus all that energy on growing into the best version of you, not someone else's idea of success. And here's the powerful paradox. The moment you stop trying to be like everyone else, that's exactly when you become unforgettable. When you dare to walk your own path instead of blending into the crowd, people take notice. You don't need to chase attention, you naturally attract it. That's the quiet strength of authenticity. Now let's move into the 15th part of focusing on you until you win: managing your time wisely. Time is the one resource you'll never get back. You can always earn more money, buy more things, or rebuild what was lost. But once a minute is gone, it's gone forever. So how you spend your time directly determines the quality of your life. Waste your time, and you're wasting your potential. Invest your time wisely, and you're investing in your future. That's why the most successful people are fiercely protective of their time. They say no, often and unapologetically, to anything that doesn't align with their vision or values. They delegate what others can handle, eliminate distractions that serve no purpose, and lock in on high-value activities that bring real results. Productivity isn't about doing more tasks. It's about doing the right tasks. It's not about staying busy. It's about making an impact. And that brings us to the 16th part of focusing on you until you win: developing financial literacy. Now, let's be clear, money isn't the most important thing in life, but it touches nearly everything that is: your health, your freedom, your peace of mind, your ability to support others, and the choices you can make. It affects your relationships, your peace of mind, your ability to give back, and even your freedom to chase your dreams. Sadly, most people don't struggle financially because they lack income. They struggle because they lack financial education. No one ever taught them how to manage money effectively. They never learned how to create a budget, how to save consistently, how to invest wisely, or how to generate multiple streams of income. Instead of making their money work for them, they end up working for money their entire lives. Financial freedom isn't about luxury or excess. It's about having stability and options. It means building enough passive income to cover your living expenses without relying on a paycheck. That's when you truly begin to take control of your time, your choices, and your future. Now, the 17th part of focusing on you until you win is cultivating patience. In today's fast-paced, click-and-get world, patience feels like an old-fashioned virtue. We're conditioned to expect immediate results, fast success, instant gratification, and overnight transformation. But real success doesn't work that way. It takes time, consistent effort, and the persistence to keep going even when results are delayed. Most people make the mistake of overestimating what they can achieve in a single year and underestimating what they can accomplish in a decade. They give up too quickly, not realizing that breakthrough might have been just around the corner. Remember this: success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. It's not about one grand decision, but a series of small, wise choices made consistently over time. Week after week, month after month, year after year. That's how transformation happens. And that brings us to the 18th part of focusing on you until you win: developing your communication skills. This one is often overlooked, but it's absolutely vital. Your ability to express yourself clearly, confidently, and persuasively will shape nearly every aspect of your success. Communication is how you share your ideas, inspire others, resolve conflicts, and build lasting relationships. Whether you're speaking to a room full of people, writing an important email, or having a heart-to-heart conversation, your words carry weight. When used with intention and clarity, they can move mountains. So if you want to expand your influence, start by mastering your voice. Conflicts, how you pitch your ideas, and how effectively you sell your products or services. To master communication, start by developing your vocabulary. It's the foundation of influence. Learn to tell compelling stories that connect emotionally. Practice public speaking until your message flows with clarity and conviction. But also become a great listener. Sometimes, the most powerful communication isn't what you say, it's what you hear and how you respond. And don't underestimate the power of clear writing. The ability to express complex thoughts in simple words is a superpower in every area of life. The 19th part of focusing on you until you win is building meaningful, healthy relationships. No one climbs to the top alone. Every great achievement is supported by others: mentors, collaborators, friends, and even challengers who push you to grow. That's why you must invest in your relationships. Treat people with dignity and respect, no matter their status. Be generous with your time, your wisdom, and your resources. Honor your word. Keep your promises. Show gratitude often and sincerely. Loyalty and trustworthiness are the cornerstones of strong human connection. And while generosity matters, discernment matters just as much. Be mindful of who you allow into your inner circle. The people you surround yourself with will either lift you higher or pull you down. You tend to become like the 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose those people wisely. Pick those who inspire growth, encourage your goals, and reflect the values you hold dear. Now let's move to the 20th part of focusing on you until you win: cultivating a positive attitude. Your mindset is your altitude. It determines how far and how high you'll go. Your attitude shapes your perspective and, in turn, your entire experience of life. A positive attitude isn't about blind optimism or pretending everything's fine. It's about responding to challenges with resilience rather than panic, about spotting opportunities in the middle of chaos, and about keeping your eyes on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Your attitude is a decision, not a default. You choose it in every moment, with every reaction. Choose optimism. Choose belief. Choose to see what's possible instead of what's broken, because that choice will shape the outcomes of your life more than almost anything else. And finally, the 21st part of focusing on you until you win is learning to take intelligent risks. Growth demands courage. Progress demands uncertainty. You can't move forward while staying completely safe. Every meaningful step, whether it's starting a business, changing careers, opening your heart, or stepping into the unknown, comes with risk. But that's where the transformation lives. Uncertainty. Most people live in fear of making mistakes, so much so that they avoid stepping outside their comfort zone. They play it so safe that they end up living small, filled with regrets for what they never dared to try. But those who achieve real success understand a critical distinction: the difference between reckless risks and intelligent risks. Reckless risks are driven by impulse, taken without adequate preparation, foresight, or a safety net. They're emotional, rushed, and reactive. Intelligent risks, on the other hand, are grounded in wisdom. They involve thoughtful planning, calculated consideration, and a willingness to grow, no matter the outcome. The goal isn't to avoid failure at all costs. The real danger lies in never trying, in playing so cautiously that you miss the chance to become who you were meant to be. Don't be afraid to stumble. Be more afraid of standing still. Don't fear mistakes. Fear the regret that comes from never growing, never reaching, never discovering your true capacity. The 22nd part of focusing on you until you win is learning to celebrate progress. Many people wait until they've hit a big milestone, achieved the grand goal, or crossed the ultimate finish line before they allow themselves to feel proud. But successful people understand the power of momentum. They celebrate the journey. They acknowledge every small step forward, every lesson learned, every habit formed. When you take time to celebrate small wins, you reinforce your belief in yourself. You generate the motivation to keep going. You build emotional fuel that drives consistency and discipline. So don't wait until you make it to feel good. Feel good now, because progress is proof that you're on the path to something great. The 23rd part of focusing on you until you win is creating balance. Real success is never one-dimensional. It's not just about climbing the career ladder or stacking up financial wins. True fulfillment comes from harmony across all essential areas of life. Your health, your relationships, your personal growth, your finances, your purpose, your spiritual connection, and yes, even your rest and recreation. Too often, people sacrifice their health in pursuit of wealth, only to later spend their wealth trying to restore their health. Others trade away time with loved ones to build a career, only to discover that success feels empty when there's no one to share it with. Don't fall into that trap. Create healthy rhythms between work and rest, effort and recovery, ambition and appreciation. Life isn't just about results. It's also about the richness of the experience along the way. And now, the 24th part of focusing on you until you win: having faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in others. Faith in your path. Faith in a higher power that's guiding you, even when the way forward isn't clear. Faith isn't about certainty. It's about courage. It's the ability to keep walking even when you don't know where the road leads. It's the quiet belief that every step, every setback, every delay is part of a greater design. Faith is what keeps you moving when fear tells you to stop. It's what helps you hold on when everything inside you wants to give up. Without faith, you'll be tempted to quit too soon. But with it, you'll persevere long enough to see just how powerful your journey can become. Up when life gets tough. With faith, you discover a deeper well of strength to press on, to endure, and ultimately, to rise. Faith doesn't remove the obstacles, it fuels your ability to overcome them. Now, let's bring it all together. Focusing on you until you win means stepping up and taking full ownership of your life. No more waiting for external changes. No more blaming circumstances. It's about becoming the kind of person who shapes circumstances, not the one shaped by them. It starts with developing a personal philosophy, principles that guide your thoughts, your choices, and your actions. From that foundation, you cultivate discipline. You commit to doing what needs to be done, especially when motivation fades. Because real growth isn't based on feelings, it's grounded in action. It means becoming a lifelong learner, someone who continuously sharpens their mind and skills. You learn to manage your emotions rather than letting your emotions manage you. You take care of your body like the priceless vessel it is, because without health, no success can truly be enjoyed. You build character through integrity, accountability, and doing the right thing even when it's inconvenient. It also means waking up each day with gratitude, recognizing that even the struggles shape your strength. You develop resilience, the ability to bend without breaking, to stumble but not surrender. You set meaningful goals and take steps toward them every single day, and you hone your unique talents, those gifts that only you can bring to the world. Focusing on you includes serving others, because a life without contribution is empty. It means choosing courage over comfort, authenticity over approval, and protecting your time like the precious resource it is. You deepen your financial understanding, build your patience, and master your ability to communicate effectively, because your words shape your influence. You also strengthen your relationships, invest in people who uplift you, and nurture a positive mindset that sees opportunities even in challenges. You embrace intelligent risks, the kind that stretch you and refine you. And you celebrate every step of growth, not just the finish line. You create balance between ambition and peace, between progress and presence. And most importantly, you walk your journey with faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the process, and faith in a future that's shaped by your choices today. But let's be clear, focusing on you until you win is not about being selfish. It's not about chasing personal gain at the expense of others. It's not about ignoring the needs of those around you. Real success doesn't ask you to step on others to rise. It asks you to rise so that you can lift others too. Because true success is not just measured by what you achieve. It's about who you become along the way. It's not just about what you accumulate, but about what you contribute. And it's not just about reaching the destination. It's about finding meaning, purpose, and joy throughout the entire journey. So my friends, make this commitment. Focus on you until you win. Invest in your growth. Elevate your mindset. Build yourself into someone capable of more, someone ready to do more, and someone inspired to give more. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about where you start. It's about where you're willing to go and who you choose to become to get there. You finish. It's never just about what happens to you. What truly matters is what happens within you. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. Some of you might be sitting there thinking, but Mr. Rand, isn't it too late for me? I've made too many wrong turns. I've let years slip away. I've missed the opportunities that could have changed my life. Let me tell you something straight from the heart. It's never too late to become who you were meant to be. It's never too late to turn the page and write a new chapter. I've personally witnessed people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even in their 70s, completely transform the course of their lives. Not because the world around them changed, but because they decided to change. One of my mentors used to say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. You've probably heard that. But here's the part that matters. The second best time is right now. That wisdom doesn't just apply to trees. It applies to your personal growth, your mindset, your goals, and your future. The ideal time to begin focusing on your development, your health, your dreams? That would have been years ago. But guess what? The second best time is this moment. Don't wait around for the stars to align, for perfect timing, for the flawless circumstance, or a magical opportunity. That kind of perfection doesn't exist. What you do have is now. Right now. And now is all you actually need to begin. Start small if you must, but start somewhere. Pick up that book you've been meaning to read. Sign up for that online course you keep putting off. Join a community that challenges you. Find a mentor who's already walked the path. Set a goal. Take a risk. Make a commitment. Do something, anything, that moves you closer to the life you envision. And here's a reality you must accept. Obstacles will come. They're not optional, but they're not meant to destroy you. They exist to shape you, to measure how deeply you want what you claim to want. Each obstacle is a mirror. It asks, how bad do you want this? And when you look within and answer with action, growth begins. The truth is, the size of the obstacle is rarely the real issue. What matters is the size of you. And the more you focus on growing yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, the more you realize those challenges that once seemed massive now look like stepping stones. Become stepping stones to success. Life doesn't improve simply because you wish it would. It doesn't transform just because time passes. Life gets better through intentional change, and that change starts with you. Not with your surroundings, not with your job, not with your relationships, not even with the economy or politics or external events. The real transformation begins the moment you choose to grow. When you change your mindset, your habits, your perspective, suddenly, your world begins to shift. When you rise, everything around you rises. When you improve, your relationships, your confidence, your results, they all begin to reflect that upward momentum. So let me ask you this. What are you still waiting for? What's keeping you stuck? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it an old story you keep telling yourself about why it's not the right time? Whatever excuse you've been holding on to, release it. Not tomorrow. Right now. Let it go. Here in this moment. Decide today to shift your focus inward. Decide to invest in yourself, to develop your strengths, to unleash the full capacity that's been quietly waiting within you. Choose to live a life that leaves no space for regret. A life driven by progress, by purpose, by contribution. Because the truth is, greatness isn't reserved for the chosen few. It lives inside you. right now, in this very moment. You have more power than you've dared to believe. You carry talents, insights, and gifts that are still waiting to be discovered, nurtured, and shared with the world. Don't let them die unused. Don't let fear or complacency rob you of the fulfillment that comes from giving your all. Don't go through life silently wishing things were different. Make them different. Don't settle for a quiet, average existence when you were meant to make noise, to make an impact, to leave a legacy. Don't wait until the end to say, I should have, or I wish I would have. Live right now with such clarity and boldness that one day, when you look back, you'll be able to smile and say, I'm proud I did. Live in a way that your future self will look back with gratitude, not regret. Focus on you until you win. Not because it's selfish, but because it's the most powerful way to serve others. Not because it's self-centered, but because becoming the best version of yourself is the only way you can fully offer your gifts to the world. Remember how we started this journey together? What I said at the beginning still holds true. Before you can truly succeed in the marketplace, you must first win the battle within yourself. The journey doesn't start with external achievements. It begins with personal mastery. Before you can have more, experience more, or contribute more, you must become more. Success isn't something you chase after. It's something you naturally draw into your life through the person you choose to become. And so, I'll leave you with one final thought to carry forward. Life isn't simply about acquiring what you desire. It's about rising into the fullest version of who you're meant to be. It's not just about hitting goals. It's about aligning with your deeper purpose. It's not just about accumulating things. It's about creating lasting value, about leaving a mark, about living in a way that echoes long after you're gone. As you focus on yourself, keep this wider vision in view. Yes, build your skills. Yes, expand your mind. Yes, raise your income. But don't do it for your benefit alone. Do it so that your growth can ripple outward. Because when you win, when you become the best version of yourself, when you step into your calling, when you live from a place of purpose, everyone around you benefits. Your family grows stronger. Your community becomes richer. The world becomes brighter. So, focus on you until you win. And once you do, use your victory, your wisdom, your strength to lift others up, too. That's not just success. That's significance. And in the end, isn't that what we all truly want? Not just to live comfortably, but to live meaningfully. Not just to succeed, but to matter. You have what it takes. I believe in you. So go, step boldly into your purpose, chase your potential, and make it happen. Focus on you until you win, and then help others win too. Wishing you all vibrant health, true happiness, and a life filled with purpose. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more inspiration on your journey. Take care.